Good morning, Bhargav and Uday. Today is Wednesday, October 25th, and here's the heads up brief for today. Today's production to our clients consisted of a total of 72 issues. We covered 36 issues in East Asia Pacific, 18 issues in South Asia, and 18 issues in the EMEA region. I will be briefing you on the major issues of today's production.
All right, thank you. Please go ahead with the major issues, Bassel.
In East Asia Pacific, I'll be covering the top 3 of the 36 issues. In Indonesia, presidential candidate and Defense Minister Prabowo Subianto and his vice presidential candidate Gibran Raka registered at the General Election Commission building in central Jakarta today. A total of 4,325 joint personnel have been deployed to secure the process. The security personnel remain stationed at various key points, including the GBK complex and the KPU building, which is the Election Commission building. So political tensions and rivalries within Indonesia could spill over into public gatherings and protests. There are concerns that the Constitutional Court ruling allowing regional heads to become eligible to run for office despite being below the minimum required age limit was an attempt to appoint Gibran as Prabowo's running mate. We covered this as the major development in Southeast Asia today.
Thanks, Bassel. Yeah, the Constitutional Court ruling, it's not a concern. It definitely was a way to pave the way for Gibran. Gibran is the son of President Jokowi, and the Chief Justice of the Constitutional Court is Jokowi's brother-in-law. So this ruling does not surprise people. It just shows how Jokowi's entrenching his political dynasty, and we'll be releasing an assessment on this in the coming week also. So thanks for bringing this up, Bassel.
Very well noted today. In Timor-Leste, there is a high risk of martial arts group-triggered confrontations and skirmishes in Bacau, Garyuri, and Wailili areas. Local authorities have increased monitoring and arrested individuals in the Suai Tilomar area in Kovalima to maintain law and order. The skirmishes in the aforementioned areas are likely to trigger retaliatory attacks over the coming days. Mag clashes often involve stone throwing, knife stabbing, and property destruction. We released an advisory on this today.
Yeah, keep an eye out on this, Bassel. Tell the team too. There have been a lot of mag clashes in Timor-Leste over the past few months, especially after the elections. We need to especially notify clients on clashes near Dili. Thanks.
Yeah, sure, Uday. We'll monitor this closely. In Mongolia, Russian Deputy Prime Minister Viktoria Abramchenko stated yesterday that the construction of the Power of Siberia 2 gas pipeline passing through Mongolia will begin by the first quarter of 2024. The project is a gas pipeline connecting Russia with China. The pipeline is expected to transfer 50 billion cubic meters of gas a year from northern Russia to China through Mongolia. This underscores a significant stride in Russia-China energy cooperation, potentially enhancing Russia's energy export capacity while satisfying China's growing energy demand.
Yeah, this is definitely interesting. Over the last 2 years, we've seen increased energy collaboration between Russia and China, and we could see more of these kind of projects where oil and gas flows directly east instead of towards the Middle East or West from Russia at least. So thanks.
Sure, Uday. In South Asia, I'll be covering the top 2 of the 18 issues. In Pakistan, the national airline defaulted on payments to the Pakistan State Oil, with the agreement stipulating a daily payment of approximately $588,000, but the national airline could only pay around $411,000 daily. This default has prompted the state oil company to halt fuel supply to the national airline, leading to the cancellation of 77 flights. So the ongoing fuel crisis will likely cause Pakistan International Airlines to halt flight operations over the coming days.
Yes, this is very much part of their ongoing economic crisis, and it doesn't really come as a surprise that PIA is undergoing such a default. And even for PIA, it is known to be in trouble recurrently in the last 10 years or so. So, Bassel, we need to keep a closer eye on the economic indicators at the ground level and keep our clients updated on where things are going as far as the economic crisis is concerned.
Well noted, Bhargav. In Bangladesh, Joint Commissioner of Dhaka Metropolitan Police Kumar Sarkar stated yesterday that the Jamaat-e-Islami would not be allowed to hold a rally at the Chapla Chatar in Dhaka on October 28th. This is due to the decision. This is due to the GI considered to be an anti-liberation force with no official party registration. Also, it's important to note that the Awami League and the Bangladesh Nationalist Party are expected to hold coinciding rallies in Dhaka on October 28th. So these planned rallies come ahead of the general elections scheduled to be held in January 2024. The BNP and other opposition parties like the JI are attempting to increase anti-government sentiments to oust the AL from power, the Awami League. We covered this as the major development in South Asia today.
All right. Yes, JI is an actor which which can be quite belligerent, and the law enforcement officials are rightly concerned about their ability to mobilize at a very short notice, and they have played quite a few controversial roles in Liberation Front as well. As a pressure group, they do not have an official entity per se, and that's exactly what should be a matter of concern for the authorities. So let's monitor the situation closely, Bassel, and keep the clients interested in Bangladesh updated. Before the elections, more of such protests are likely.
Sure, Bhargav, we'll be monitoring this closely. In EMEA, I'll be covering the top issue of the 18 issues. And here's the update on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. So 16 people were killed and 7 others were injured in Israeli bombardment of Gaza this morning. There were other attacks last night, including by Hamas, where it attacked urban areas in central Israel, including the capital, Tel Aviv, using rockets which were intercepted by Israel's Iron Dome. Also, a senior Israeli government official yesterday said fuel will not be allowed in Gaza even if Hamas releases all hostages. The energy minister Katz has said an on-ground operation in Gaza will not be suspended due to hostages. Also, the S&P credit rating agency has downgraded Israel's outlook to negative due to the risk of the conflict spreading widely. In addition to that, Israeli forces this morning struck Syrian army mortar launchers and infrastructure as a response to rockets launched from Syria towards Israel. Also, the Ain al-Assad and Al-Anbar military bases that host the US and coalition forces were attacked with rockets yesterday. The Islamic resistance in Iraq has claimed responsibilities for these attacks. So the continuous back and forth attacks between Israel and Hamas, along with Israel's clashes with Hezbollah attacks in Syria and Iranian proxy militias attacks on bases in Iraq signify a broadening conflict zone. This actually risks drawing in more regional actors, which could potentially change the dynamics and the scale of this conflict. We conveyed this to our clients in EMEA via an advisory message today.
All right. Thank you for the continued monitoring to greater detail. Let's keep supporting our clients in the region based on their interests. At the same time, it is a matter of concern that there is no proactive steps being taken by great powers to ensure there is some sort of a ceasefire in the interest of humanitarian crisis. So there is a greater chance of wider conflict, as you rightly said, Bassel. So let's keep monitoring the situation.
Sure, Bhargav. That's the heads up brief for today. Anything else from you or Uday?
Nothing further from my end. Thank you.
Nothing, Bassel, thanks.
Thanks.